The government shutdown is about 16 and a half hours away. I don't know what your thoughts are on the government shutdown, but frankly, shut it down. I think shutting it down would send a message, would hopefully get us closer to being on the same page, and we get to see what really happens if we have a government shutdown. Excuse me, my throat's a little froggy. Hopefully that fixes it. Again, there will be some impact from the government shutdown. If you're in and around the DC area, as I understand it, furloughs would initiate immediately, which if this lasted a long time could have some impact. I think the largest impact is going to be on data. If you don't recall, this week is jobs, jobs, jobs. This morning, we got the first of three reports, what is called the JOLTS report. The JOLTS report came in slightly better than expected. It was expected to show job openings at 7.1 million. It came in just above 7.2, so a net positive. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, we will get the ADP or private payroll report. But the big report, the most important report, comes out Friday and shows us how many jobs were created for the month and the unemployment rate. The BLS is telling us that if a government shutdown occurs in 16 and a half hours, that report will not be released. Also, if this continues for any length of time, we could potentially not see CPI or PPI. Again, these are economic reports that the Federal Reserve and others use to monitor the U.S. economy. Again, I don't know how you feel about these reports, but frankly, they've been garbage. They've been wrong. They've been sending the wrong signals. So not sure how I feel about them not being released. So again, the biggest impact on this, I think, will be economic data will be disrupted for a couple of weeks. If you go back and look at past government shutdowns, there really hasn't been a large economic impact. But again, you never know. This time might be different. On that topic, we can talk about some Fed speak. We're getting lots of Fed speak. We warned about this earlier in the week. We've got Muslim, Williams, Bowman, and anybody else? Collins. So let's go through what they had to say. We'll start with Fed President Collins. Households are still worried about inflation. Now, remember, folks, when we go through these Fed presidents and their comments, we're trying to figure out where they are, because there are 18 members, 12 voting members, and we're trying to figure out who's a hawk, who's a dove, and more importantly, what data they are looking at to change their opinion. So again, Fed President Collins, households still worried about inflation. I expect hiring to pick up as firms adjust to tariffs. That's interesting. I have not heard that before. So again, we could watch hiring in the months to come to see if Fed President Collins is right. And then lastly, Fed President Collins says it may be appropriate to ease further in 2025. So you can go ahead and pencil Fed President Collins as a dove, as she is open to more cuts in 2025. How about Muslim? I got to figure out how to say that. I'm just guessing. Labor continues to soften, but we are near full employment. Basically, nothing to worry about. Most inflation is not tariff driven. Interesting. Tariff impact more muted than expected. Okay, gotcha. Expect inflation to be elevated for the next 2 to 3 quarters. So that would be through Q2 of 2026. And most importantly, I expect firms to pass on more tariff costs. So inflation is coming. Again, Musselman is worried about tariffs and inflation, clearly. Let's go to Fed President Bowman, Michelle Bowman, worried about a sharp decline in home prices. Michelle Bowman is the only Fed president that I have found so far that sees a potential cascading of home prices lower. Basically, sellers who don't have equity are forced to sell, then that becomes a comp, and so on and so forth. So again, Michelle Bowman seems to be worried about a repeat of the GFC. Fed President Williams says It will take years for the AI technology to fully integrate into the economy. And my model estimates that real neutral rates are, get this, 0.75. Folks, if we just assume the neutral rate is 1%, just for shits and giggles, that means they could cut 12 times. They could cut 12 times. So again, pretty interesting situation to think about. So again, we're just trying to figure out who's who on what side. At this point, I would argue that most Fed presidents seem to be on the open to cutting in 2025 with a couple of exceptions, but we will keep it rolling. Let's talk about all the activity in school. Again, we are Everyday Wealth Builders. You need to join. I don't know why you haven't. It's 67 pennies a day. Here are the last 5 posts that occurred in the school community, at least in my feed. James was celebrating doing over $20,000 in revenue via pad split or rent by room. Again, a great story. Congratulations, James. Nicole is talking about midterm rentals. Dylan, shout out Dylan. He was interviewed on Real Estate Rookie, Bigger Pockets Real Estate Rookie, episode 620. Go ahead and give that a listen. Send Dylan some love. We had questions about alligator properties. For example, if you are buying a property and existing rents produce a negative number, but you have plans to raise rents, does that count? Absolutely not. All you need to include is what the make-ready cost is to upgrade the unit to produce that cash flow. And then finally, more good news for our family. Both Dion and PTO for Life were interviewed by Business Insider. Again, our community is growing. We've got people going on Real Estate Rookie and Business Insider. We got people crushing it like James and Nicole with pad split or midterm rentals. Join the family, get active, figure out your tribe, and just have some fun. Next up on the economic front, we got a concerning number with consumer confidence. Consumer confidence last month was 97.4. It was expected to fall to 96. It actually fell to 94.2. Consumer confidence is another one of those how do I feel metrics. And as we've talked about last week, a lot of the what we're doing metrics are really good. Home sales, durable goods, things of that nature. But is there an underlying concern by the consumer? Some of the metrics are saying absolutely. Vice President Vance said, we are headed to a shutdown, to which I say, shut it down. Let's see what happens. Walmart CEO out with another AI quote. AI will change every job. Walmart will freeze global headcount for the next 3 years. Guys, if you don't know this, I think Walmart's global headcount is 2.1 million. Yes, they are a monster. 2.1 million employees. Today is the last day of Q3. Today is the last day of Q3. I think about this a lot. I used to be driven by the quarters. And how's the year gone for you? What have you accomplished? Are you on track? Do you need to buckle up and really focus in Q4? Some of you do. And if you do, I strongly suggest investing in yourself and joining school. It, again, is a place with now 9 accountability groups. Find the time, find the person that matches your speed and your interest. Lots of education, Sunday conversations, all that good stuff. You got to get in the right rooms and around the right people, and we're trying to do that inside school. So again, if you need some help, you need some accountability, join. If you have friends that aren't helping you build wealth, join. Again, we are there for you if you are ready to go. Also, let's congratulate some people for buying or joining school first. Scott, thank you very much for joining. Make sure you introduce yourself and get active and the like. But we can also thank some folks for buying your ORaaT tickets to Vegas. We had Karen, Frankie, and Rachel all buy tickets in the last 24 hours. Remember, folks, today is your last day. Last day. This offer goes away at midnight. This is not a joke. I don't play around. I don't do these things. Today is the last day. If you buy your tickets to Vegas today, you will get $100 in teachable credits, or you can take $100 off the big course, take it from $399 to only $299. You will also get an autographed book. If you buy 2 tickets, you get 2 autographed books. And then we will do a conversation in October, which is going to be pretty small. I think it'll be 5 to 10 people because, again, 20 people bought tickets, 50% hit rate. So you're going to be able to ask me any and all questions. If you intend on going, today's the last day to get that special bonus. So I hope to see you in there. Again, let's call out Dylan, who was just interviewed by Real Estate Rookie. He, episode number 620, he went from 0 to 15 units in 2 years. So congratulations, Dylan. Thank you for sharing your story. Carnival Cruise Lines posted earnings, and they are 50% booked for 2026 and 2/3 booked for the next 12 months. This goes back to the saying that the front of the cabin is full and the back is empty. I think that was Fed President Barkin that said that. We did get numbers on Texas manufacturing, and it looks like it is dropping. It was expected to be -1. It came in at -8.7. Again, the numbers mean nothing. Just watch for the direction and the miss. That was a big miss. Looks like President Trump is announcing a 10% tariff on lumber. No bueno for the housing industry. That's not good. 10% on lumber. Also, remember, I think it was 50% on kitchen cabinets and that kind of stuff. So again, it looks like inputs to housing will get more expensive. What else do we got? Oh, let's talk Mike Simonson. He always puts out great data about housing every week. Shout out Mike. Pending home sales are improving. Shocking. Interest rates matter. Prices are more resilient than he expected. Could have told you. Inventory's up 18% year on year. Prices up 2% year on year. Interest rates are falling and new listings are declining. We have definitely entering a season of less new listings. The US dollar is down 10% this year. That is the worst year since 1973. Wow, 1973, the US dollar. So folks, we're having a lot of fun here. Hope you are as well. Remember, Q3 is over today. Q4 starts tomorrow. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? The end of the year is right around the corner. I hope to see you inside school. Hope to see you in Vegas. Have a wonderful day. Take care. And don't forget to go to Steadily and use the link in the description and see if they can get you better coverage for a cheaper price. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. They've helped us out about 60% of the time. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care. Later.